Welcome back to our channel where today we dive into one of the most surprising stories in the world of modern coin collecting, the 2006 United States 1-cent coin that has astonished collectors and experts alike by being valued as high as $126 due to its extraordinary errors, unusual characteristics, rare strike variations, and minting flaws that have taken this otherwise ordinary-looking coin into the realm of numismatic treasure. While most would pass right by a 2006 penny thinking it's just another everyday coin made from copper-plated zinc and carrying virtually no more than its face value, some numismatists and sharp-eyed collectors have turned their attention to a small subset of these coins that contain significant minting mistakes, making them incredibly rare and thus highly valuable. Let's take a deep journey into how something as common as a 1-cent coin from 2006 ends up demanding a 3-digit price tag on online auction platforms, at trade shows, and in private collector circles. First, to understand the full scope of this coin's potential value, we must break down the way the 2006 Lincoln penny was originally intended to be minted. The United States Mint in 2006 produced billions of these coins at both the Philadelphia, no mint mark, and Denver, marked with a D, facilities, and the obverse featured the familiar bust of Abraham Lincoln designed by Victor D. Brenner, a design that has been in use since 1909, while the reverse displayed the Lincoln Memorial, an iconic image introduced in 1959 to mark the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. Now, with that baseline, let's turn our focus to what makes some examples from 2006 stand out dramatically from the rest. One of the most notable error types found in 2006 Lincoln cents involves double die errors, which occur when a coin is struck by a die that has a misaligned or double design, resulting in features of the coin appearing twice or having a ghost-like doubling effect. On some 2006 cents, collectors have found clear doubling on the date, the word liberty, and even the motto, "In God We Trust," with the most dramatic cases showing such doubling so clearly visible to the naked eye that no magnification is necessary. This type of error is not only fascinating to collectors but also drives up the value significantly because it indicates a failure in the die-making process at the mint, a process that's supposed to be carefully controlled and standardized. Another highly sought-after error involves off-center strikes. These are coins that were not properly aligned during the striking process, resulting in a final product where part of the design is missing and the coin is asymmetrical in shape. Depending on how far off-center the strike is, the rarity and value of the coin can change dramatically. A 5% off-center strike might add a few dollars to a coin's value, but when that misalignment reaches 50% or more and still shows a visible date, then you have a coin that's not just a curiosity but a serious collector's piece, potentially commanding prices well over $100. There are also 2006 pennies with broad strike errors, which occur when the retaining collar that shapes the coin fails, allowing the metal to expand outward upon striking. The result is a wider and often thinner coin with blurred edges and no reading. On a penny that already doesn't have reeded edges, this might be subtle, but the overall diameter and strange shape can signal a major minting mishap. Yet another major area of intrigue comes from die cracks and die chips. These are flaws that develop on the mint's dies over time due to wear and tear or internal stress, and when those damaged dies strike blank coin planchets, they impart the imperfections directly onto the coin surface. Some 2006 pennies display cracks running through Lincoln's face or the field surrounding him, giving them distinctive raised lines that are incredibly unique to each flawed die. In some dramatic examples, the die chip may form on Lincoln's eye, leading collectors to nickname these as BIE errors or CUD errors depending on the location and shape. These aren't just oddities, they're pieces of a physical history of minting machinery breakdowns and are highly desired by enthusiasts who collect specific error types. Another subset of the valuable 2006 1-cent coins includes those struck on the wrong planchet entirely. Occasionally, a penny is accidentally struck using a blank intended for a foreign coin or for another U.S. denomination such as a dime or nickel. These coins have incorrect weight, metallic composition, and sometimes even color, which can be noticed by attentive collectors. A 2006 penny struck on a dime planchet would be smaller in diameter, thinner, and lighter in weight, and this rarity significantly boosts the coin's collectible appeal. Others may be struck on unplated zinc blanks, resulting in a grayish rather than copper appearance, sometimes causing confusion among those unaware of the existence of planchet anomalies. Then there's the infamous clash die error, where the obverse and reverse dies strike each other without a coin planchet between them, leaving a ghost impression of the reverse on the obverse and vice versa. Some 2006 Lincoln cents have been discovered showing part of the Lincoln Memorial on Lincoln's face or vice versa, creating bizarre and mysterious overlapping imagery that seems surreal but is rooted in real mechanical accidents at the mint. The visual allure of these errors makes them highly collectible, not to mention their incredible scarcity. Additionally, there are also some incredibly valuable 2006 pennies featuring retained or struck-through errors. These occur when foreign materials like grease, metal shavings, or even bits of string become lodged on the die or in the planchet during the striking process. When the coin is struck, the foreign object leaves an impression or alters the coin's surface in a way that's clearly abnormal. These retained struck-through errors often resemble scratches, grooves, or soft patches that collectors quickly identify as something much more than simple post-mint damage. Speaking of post-mint damage, it's important for collectors to differentiate between genuine mint errors and damage that occurs after the coin leaves the mint, as the former commands premium prices while the latter is usually seen as merely flawed and worthless. Experts and graders often use high-powered magnification and scales to weigh the coins accurately to determine whether it's struck on the wrong planchet, or displays genuine doubling, or is merely damaged. Some error coins are even slabbed and graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC to ensure authenticity and protect the coin for long-term investment. As with many error coins, rarity is key. While the 2006 penny was mass-produced in the billions, the number of those coins that exhibit genuine and dramatic errors, especially those that are visible without magnification and confirmed by grading services, are a tiny fraction of the total, making them sought after in a market where demand continues to increase among collectors who specialize in errors, modern coins, or Lincoln cents specifically. In the digital age, platforms like eBay and heritage auctions have allowed collectors to see these rare coins in action, fetching prices ranging from $10 to over $126 depending on the severity, visibility, and certification of the error. Collectors often share stories of finding these rare coins in pocket change, old rolls from banks, or inherited collections, highlighting the ongoing potential for ordinary people to stumble upon hidden treasures. With careful examination and knowledge, a coin that looks like pocket change to most can be turned into a valuable piece of American minting history. The 2006 1-cent coin stands as a testament to how errors and mistakes, though unintended, can create value in unexpected places. Whether it's doubling, off-center strikes, die cracks, broad strikes, planchet anomalies, or retained struck-through errors, each variation adds a new dimension to the value of the coin and keeps collectors hunting. For those interested in coin collecting or simply fascinated by rare U.S. currency, knowing about the hidden potential in coins like the 2006 penny could be both financially rewarding and intellectually satisfying. Thanks for tuning into this detailed breakdown, and if you found value in this content, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more amazing discoveries in the world of rare coins and collectibles. Next. Today we dive into one of the most unexpectedly valuable modern coins that many people may still have lying unnoticed in their pockets, drawers, or old coin jars, the 2001 United States 1-cent coin, a humble Lincoln penny that in some surprising cases is worth as much as $103 due to an array of minting errors, production anomalies, and rare features that have turned this everyday piece of currency into a small but powerful asset in the world of numismatics and coin collectors alike. And if you've never thought of checking your 2001 pennies before, after watching this detailed deep dive you may be rushing to examine each one closely with a magnifier in hand. What makes this particular year's coin so intriguing is that, on the surface, it doesn't appear any different from the billions of other pennies struck at the turn of the 21st century, featuring the classic obverse of President Abraham Lincoln's profile and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, a design that has graced the 1-cent coin since 1959. But the key to its value lies not in its design or even its mintage totals but in the rare mistakes, minting flaws, die anomalies, and striking mishaps that occurred during the coin's production and led to the creation of some incredibly rare error coins that have become hot targets for serious collectors who specialize in modern error coins and anomalies. The 2001 penny was minted in large numbers at both the Philadelphia Mint, which produced coins with no mint mark, and the Denver Mint, which placed a small d beneath the date to indicate its origin. But while the vast majority of these coins were produced without issue, a tiny fraction of them were minted with errors so unusual and rare that they defied the stringent quality control measures normally upheld by the U.S. Mint, and it is these error coins, particularly those that are visually striking or confirmed by professional grading services, that have sold for values far exceeding $100 in the modern collector's market. One of the most notable and collectible types of errors found in the 2001 penny series is the double die error, where the coin appears to have duplicate images of key design elements, a result of the die itself being misaligned or engraved twice in a slightly off-centered way during the hubbing process. And on 2001 Lincoln cents, doubling has been found most prominently on the date, the word liberty, and the motto, "In God We Trust," with the most valuable examples showing crisp, visible doubling that can be seen with the naked eye or under simple magnification, making them instantly attractive to error coin collectors who seek these unique design distortions that prove a deviation from normal minting practices. In addition to doubled dies, the 2001 penny is also known for producing a number of off-center strike errors, where the planchet, the blank metal disc, is improperly positioned during the striking process, resulting in a coin where the design is shifted to one side and part of the image is missing entirely. Depending on how far off-center the strike is, the value of the coin increases, with dramatic 50% off-center strikes that still retain the full date being particularly valuable and capable of selling for over $100 or more, while even minor misalignments can catch collector interest. Then there are broad strike errors, another rare minting mistake where the retaining collar that normally holds the planchet in place during the strike is missing or malfunctioning, allowing the metal to expand outward and creating a coin that appears wider and flatter than usual, often with distorted rims and fields. And 2001 pennies with this error have drawn attention for their odd shapes and their clear departure from the expected penny format, especially when the coin remains otherwise well struck with readable details. Another error category that adds immense value is known as the die clash error, which occurs when the obverse and reverse dies come into direct contact without a planchet between them, causing an imprint of each design to be transferred onto the opposing die. When coins are struck afterward, ghost-like remnants of the opposing side's image appear faintly in the coin's background, creating strange overlapping details that defy normal design logic, and in 2001 pennies, this has resulted in visible traces of the Lincoln Memorial appearing on Lincoln's face or vice versa, a surreal and fascinating visual that collectors prize for its rarity and aesthetic intrigue. Die chips and cracks are another contributor to the elevated value of some 2001 1-cent coins, as over time the dies used in minting become stressed and can crack, producing raised lines or blobs of metal on the coin surface. In particular, the BIE error, where a small die chip appears between the letters B and E in Liberty, creating the illusion of an extra I, has become a favorite among Lincoln cent collectors, and 2001 examples showing such errors are considered desirable and can fetch higher prices depending on the size and prominence of the flaw. Still more unusual are the examples of 2001 pennies that were struck on the wrong planchet entirely, such as those intended for dimes or foreign coins, which results in coins with incorrect weight, thickness, and even coloration. These rare wrong planchet errors are highly prized because they reveal a failure in the minting process to properly screen blanks, and such coins are often easily identified by their smaller size, lighter weight, or silver-colored appearance if struck on a dime blank. And authenticated examples can sell for significantly more than their face value, sometimes reaching the $100 mark or higher depending on condition. Adding further to the intrigue are struck-through errors, where foreign debris like grease, string, or metal shavings are present on the die or planchet at the moment of striking, resulting in permanent impressions or smooth patches on the coin's surface that interrupt the intended design. And 2001 pennies with retained struck-through errors, where the foreign object remains embedded in the coin, are especially valuable because of their extreme rarity and the visual interest they generate. Even more exotic are the so-called mule errors, where the obverse and reverse designs come from two different coin types or mismatched dies. Though these are exceptionally rare and no widely confirmed mule errors from 2001 pennies are currently known, the mere possibility continues to inspire collectors to examine every detail of their coins closely, knowing that even a one-of-a-kind discovery could be worth many times the already impressive $103 some standard errors have fetched. For collectors, the value of an error coin depends not only on the type and severity of the error but also on the coin's overall condition, known as its grade. Coins that are graded as mint state, MS, by professional services like the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, or Numismatic Guarantee Company, NGC, are especially prized, as their pristine surfaces combined with rare errors create a potent mix of desirability and investment potential, and some 2001 pennies with prominent errors and high grades have achieved exceptional results at auction, driven by competitive bidding among error collectors and Lincoln cent specialists alike. As with all modern coinage, distinguishing between genuine mint errors and post-mint damage is crucial, and serious collectors often rely on certification to ensure the legitimacy of their pieces. Damage occurring after the coin leaves the mint, such as from circulation, environmental exposure, or tampering, does not carry the same value as a true mint error, which is why authentication by trusted third-party grading services is often a prerequisite for high sale prices, and in the case of the 2001 penny, certified examples with confirmed errors have consistently sold for well above face value, particularly when accompanied by a clear photo record and a description of the error type. Beyond their monetary value, these error coins also carry historical and educational value, offering a glimpse into the complexities and occasional flaws of the minting process that even modern technology cannot always prevent, and collectors are drawn not only by the possibility of financial gain but also by the thrill of discovery and the deeper understanding of how coins are made, how errors occur, and how a routine production year like 2001 can still yield treasures that most people overlook. In an age where digital transactions dominate and physical coins are often ignored or undervalued, stories like the 2001 penny's rise to $103 due to simple minting mistakes serve as a powerful reminder that tangible currency still holds secrets, and that even the smallest, most overlooked coin in your possession could be the key to an unexpected windfall if you're willing to look closely, learn the signs, and perhaps even take the step of submitting a potential find for professional grading. Collecting modern error coins has become a booming niche within numismatics, and coins like the 2001 penny with visible and rare flaws represent the frontier of this growing interest, particularly as younger collectors discover the excitement of roll hunting and treasure searching through everyday change, encouraged by stories of rare errors hiding in plain sight and transforming lives with nothing more than a lucky find and a sharp eye. So whether you're a seasoned numismatist, a casual collector, or someone just hearing about the 2001 penny's value for the first time, it's worth taking a fresh look at your coin jars, your wallet, or that old stash of change that's been gathering dust for years. You never know when a simple 1-cent coin might turn out to be a $100 surprise just waiting to be discovered. Why? Last, we dive deep into the hidden treasures that may be lying in your pocket change right now, and today's incredible find might just change the way you look at ordinary coins forever, because we're about to explore the fascinating and highly unexpected world of the 2008 1-cent coin. A coin that most people overlook, toss in jars, or use without a second thought. Yet one rare and curious version of it is now commanding attention from collectors and enthusiasts alike for its remarkable errors and mysterious manufacturing quirks that have skyrocketed its perceived value to an astonishing $133 in certain circumstances, making it a piece of modern American numismatic history worth talking about in depth. And what makes this particular penny stand out among billions of others minted in the same year is not only its small denomination but the jaw-dropping number of minting errors and defects that, through a perfect storm of rarity and collector demand, have turned a coin once worth only a cent into a valuable prize in the world of coin collecting. And to understand why this is the case, we must take a journey through its origins, the context of minting in 2008, and then examine the specific types of mistakes and anomalies that occurred during its production, because 2008 was a transitional and turbulent year in many ways, including within the United States Mint itself, where high volumes of coin production intersected with aging equipment, increased demand, human oversight and machine inconsistencies, all combining to produce an unusual number of flawed coins, among which the 1-cent piece stood out as an emblem of error-laced fascination. And when we look at the Philadelphia and Denver mints in 2008, both were churning out billions of pennies, and within such high production, the room for mistakes increases, and the variety of those mistakes becomes wide-ranging from double die obverse and reverses, to off-center strikes, broad strikes, die breaks, die clashes, misaligned dies, and other exotic errors like clipped planchets or transitional composition flaws, each of which on its own adds layers of value to what would otherwise be considered just a disposable unit of currency. And in the case of the 2008 penny, certain examples have been found with doubling in the inscriptions, particularly in the words, "In God We Trust," or "Liberty," or the date itself, where die doubling caused the inscriptions to appear ghosted or shadowed, which is a clear indication of a double die error. And this type of error is extremely sought after by collectors who prize visual anomalies that are easy to distinguish without the need for microscopic tools, and such doubling not only increases the rarity but creates a striking visual contrast that fuels demand and escalates pricing in coin shows, auctions, and online marketplaces. And then we have off-center strike errors where the design is improperly aligned with the planchet, resulting in a coin that looks partially blank or unevenly printed, and such pieces, depending on the degree of misalignment, especially if it ranges between 5% to 60%, can be valued far above their face value, and in the case of 2008 pennies, there are known examples with 15% to 25% off-center strikes that are fetching three-figure values. And then there are broad strike errors which happen when a coin is struck without the collar die, which normally constrains the coin's diameter, and this creates a wider, flatter penny that is immediately recognizable and oddly mesmerizing, and collectors often pay significant sums for such pieces, particularly when they occur in otherwise common years like 2008, and one must not overlook die breaks, which occur when part of the die cracks and leaves a raised, irregular feature on the coin's surface, and this may manifest as a line, bubble, or cut, where part of the design is obscured by the metal from the broken die, and these are especially valuable when they appear on the obverse side or near key design elements such as Lincoln's face, the date, or the motto. And furthermore, die clashes are another category of errors found in the 2008 pennies, where the obverse and reverse dies strike each other without a planchet in between, transferring design elements from one die to the other and leaving a phantom image of the reverse on the obverse or vice versa. And when this happens, collectors are often eager to get their hands on these eerie ghost-like error coins, particularly if the clash marks are prominent and not worn down by circulation. And perhaps even more intriguing are the cases of misaligned dies where one die is not properly centered during the striking process, which leads to the design being shifted in one direction and sometimes partially missing, and these errors not only create visually distinct coins but can also result in unusual thickness or edge distortions, all of which enhance value and interest in the numismatic community. And then we explore the realm of clipped planchet errors, which happen when the blank used for striking the coin was improperly punched, resulting in a coin that appears to have a crescent-shaped chunk missing from its edge. And though such errors are rare, they are documented in the 2008 1-cent population and can fetch high premiums, especially if the coin remains in relatively uncirculated condition. And speaking of condition, the value of these error coins is greatly influenced by their grade or state of preservation, with mint state coins, graded MS60 or higher, naturally commanding more than those that show heavy wear. And even among error coins, a pristine example is always more sought after, and that's where things get even more interesting, because some 2008 error pennies were never widely circulated and have surfaced from original mint rolls or bags, making them prime examples of how quality plus error rarity equals high monetary worth. And in the broader context, what further amplifies the intrigue around the 2008 1-cent coin is that it comes just 1 year before the Lincoln bicentennial penny redesign in 2009, meaning that 2008 was the final year of the long-running Lincoln Memorial reverse design, making it something of a swan song issue. And for collectors, that finality gives the 2008 penny a symbolic closure value, especially when paired with striking errors that make these final memorials even more memorable. And let us not forget the role of collectors' psychology and supply-demand dynamics, because when a certain type of error coin becomes known and publicized within collector communities, its desirability increases. And since not every collector can access a truly rare coin like a 1909 SVDB, the error coins from modern years like 2008 become attainable alternatives for people trying to build impressive collections without venturing into ultra-expensive historical coins. And online marketplaces like eBay, heritage auctions, and great collections have recorded transactions of these error 2008 pennies crossing the $100 mark, with some going even higher depending on the combination of error type and coin condition. And this shows a sustained and credible demand that goes beyond mere rumors or speculation, and in many cases the provenance of the coin, where it was found, how it was discovered, how well it's preserved, adds storytelling value, giving it an identity that further increases its market appeal. And even more compelling is the fact that with billions of 2008 pennies minted, only a tiny fraction have documented errors that are dramatic and verifiable, and among these, even fewer are known to exist in high grade or in collector hands, which creates a scenario of high demand and low supply, the perfect formula for appreciating coin value. And therefore, it's entirely reasonable to see how such a coin could cost $133 or more. And when you consider the possibility of finding one of these error coins in circulation or in change jars at home, it turns ordinary individuals into accidental treasure hunters. And this thrill of the hunt is what keeps the numismatic community alive and vibrant, with every new coin acting as a mystery box of potential. And while not every 2008 penny is worth a fortune, those with errors, especially the ones we've outlined like double dies, off-center strikes, broad strikes, die breaks, die clashes, misaligned dies, and clipped planchets, become instantly collectible and open the door to a deeper appreciation of how even modern coins can be surprisingly valuable. And so if you're holding onto any 2008 pennies, now is the time to pull them out, examine them under good light or even with a magnifying glass, and see if your everyday pocket change holds within it an unexpected gem. Because the world of coin errors is as real as it is rewarding, and for those with an eye for detail and a bit of patience, that 1-cent coin could be your ticket to a piece of monetary history that's worth far more than its face value. And thank you for staying with us on this deep dive into one of the most underrated treasures of recent US minting, the 2008 era penny that could be worth $133 or even more. So if you found this exploration valuable, informative, or surprising, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more amazing stories about rare coins, hidden treasures, and numismatic discoveries that might be sitting in your very own pocket right now.